Welcome to the Adelaide Shores Baseball Complex, Bennett Field, here for the inaugural grand final of Super League Baseball. My name is Fraser Fife. Joining me, Rob Ushy, for this grand final between the Carp and the Denmark Crushers. Rob, welcome to the broadcast. An inaugural grand final. It's been 10 weeks of competition, finally down to the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, 10 weeks, short weeks that we started back on August 8th. I'm losing my time already. October 10th was the first week. We saw these two teams win the very first game. The Crushers got themselves a 7-1 victory that night. A couple weeks later, in week 4, the Carp were able to get the win 2-0 over the Denmark Crushers. The week 7 was a washout, so there was no rubber match between these two teams until now, the grand final. Carp and Denmark Crushers. This will be a good one.
Yeah, will be Denmark Crushers, who you saw last week. They took on the Clippers. They end up taking that game 14-2 in what was a one-sided affair. So they have some momentum on their side. The Carp, of course, being in first place, get the bye. Do you reckon that hurts them at all?
In a one-game-a-week series, I don't think having the bye is gonna help or hurt you a little bit. All these players have their weekly games with their club teams in the SABL. Some are with the Bite development team, so they do have lots of batting practice, lots of time. I don't think 1 week's going to make a difference. I think the bigger difference today is going to be the fact that you've got the Denmark Crushers, which is kind of the veteran, established team, players that have had the time in different grand finals against a younger team. The Carp, a lot of up-and-coming players. You got veterans against rookies essentially tonight.
Yeah, but the Carp, they did finish in first position, so they are the team to beat at the moment. So as you said, veteran roles versus youth, and some very talented players as we see the Carp running out onto the field. As we will go through their lineups after the national anthem, but largely unchanged for these two teams. Of course, they've pretty much solidified themselves over the past couple of weeks of competition, been able to really finalize these rosters to how they like them. I think really it's going to come down to the pitching.
The pitching is going to be the big one. For the Carp, you've got Ryan Duncan and Nate Vanderlinden, both have ERAs of 0 with 12 and 13 inning pitch. For the Denmark Crushers, Jordy Gross, Joel Chapman, both have been really solid the last couple weeks, especially in the playoff game last week. Kind of got themselves here. It's going to be the difference of whoever can get the innings done tonight.
So it is time for the national anthem. So the national anthem is done and we are almost ready to play. Rob, I know I asked you for a prediction last week, which, surprise, surprise, you actually did get right.
I finally got one right.
You got the Denmark Crushers. So I'm going to ask yet again, see if you can go 2 for 2, at least in the final series. Who do you think has the advantage here in this one? Who do you think is going to take out the inaugural Super League Grand Final?
This one I believe is going to be a close game. It's mentioned you got the veterans who, when it comes to a one-game playoff, in tendency and history has shown, usually know how to play it. They're a little more calm, know that it's a full 7-inning game today, not a lot of pressure on. Younger players tend to get a little amped up, but that can also be the advantage. You can get amped up, you can get on a roll, and you take momentum and run with it. I'm going to sit this one on the side and just watch the game today because I think this one's going to be probably the best one out of the entire season so far.
What a cop-out. for a cop-out. Yes, we are going to be in for a good game tonight. We will use this opportunity to go through the Denmark Crushers lineup. It will be Jeremy Cresswell leading off at 1 with Anthony Herrera at 2, Landon Hernandez at 3, Ben Andrews, Josh Cakebread, and Gary Owens, the 4-5-6. Bruce Wang at 7, Nick Talbot at 8, and Matt Hutchings will be on number 9. And Tyler Thompson will be starting the pitching for the Carp.
Yeah, it's going to be one of their marquee players. Tyler Rusty Thompson was back home in the States for a little while after going and having a good year in Austria this year. And so he had a little bit of time. He was a little bit later. But since he's been back, he's only got 2 innings, but he's throwing very well for the Goodwood Indians. And he is the ace of this team on paper and as a pitcher. So his job is to get his first 2 innings clean and turn it over to the bullpen.
And so it'll be an interesting task ahead. If you have, or if you're not familiar with Super League, you've come into it just a little bit late, but we'll take you through it. Both these teams, 6 outs or 40 pitches. 2-hour time limit usually coming into effect. In this case for final series, it is no factor at all. We go the full 7 innings, so take that into consideration. But again, with the Denmark Crushers, they scored a 6-spot first inning in the semi-final, so they'll be looking to do something similar here.
Well, scoring first is always an advantage. Last week it was a 6-spot as opposed to scoring first, but then they ran away with that game, put the Clippers in the rearview mirror. Today they're going to look for 1. We'll see if they use the kind of their team motto of just kind of hitting and move it along. They've been a team that's hit up and down the lineup as opposed to the Carp, which plays a little more smaller baseball.
Well, it looks like we are ready to go. Jeremy Cresswell is stepping in. Also, with the team tonight, the home plate umpires we should also mention: Neil Polton is behind home plate, Ian Revel at first base, and Payne Souter will be at third. As the first pitch of the Super League Grand Final is almost here.
Hey, this is just up and in fastball. We've talked about it all year. Here's first matchup, teammates, both with the Goodwood Indians, and Jeremy Cresswell and Tyler Thompson. A little bit to start something high. There's going to be on the outside corner. That evens the count 1-1. 2 good fastballs to start. Thompson looks like he has his stuff tonight.
So 1-1 count against Cresswell, who over the past couple of games has just been slowly making positive progress with his batting average. Ground ball that goes right back to Thompson. He's just going to knock it down, and the throw over to Rozier will be in time. As we'll also use this opportunity to set up the Carp defensively, with Ben keeping in left field, Pat Inglis in centre, Wilson Lee will be in right field. From third to first is Liam Bull, Nathan van der Linden, Curtis Mead, and Angus Rozier, with Mason Clavel behind the plate. So Anthony Herrera stepping in, going to be playing third base tonight. We've seen him over the course of the Super League season mainly switch between shortstop and third base, coming in as a bit of a closer for the Denmark Crushers this season as well. He's been playing well on both sides of the ball.
Takes fastball just on the inside. Certainly he's been the human highlight reel, whether he's been at shortstop or third base. He's been a vacuum all over the infield, makes those highlight plays. Solid defensive line, and he was the #1 pick this year in the inaugural Super League draft. There's a good slider by Thompson, catches the outside corner, gets ahead 1-2.
So 1-2 count. Thompson searching for that strikeout pitch. Serrero doing a nice job there, just fouling it off. A 35-degree day here in Adelaide. Beautiful sun out, considering early on in the season when we thought, will we ever see sunshine again? It has finally come here on the grand final.
Yeah, the opposite of last time we saw these two play each other. There's a good fastball up high, 2-2, changing eye levels there. And probably looking to go back with his slider low and away. Last time they played each other, the Carp were able to win that one 2-0. but it was about 6 degrees here, and balls weren't going anywhere, and pitchers had a great day. There's a good fastball doubled up high. Strikeout, second out of the inning.
Yeah, first strikeout for Thompson, and so far is 2/3 of the way through the top of the first, as that will bring a Landon Hernandez, who, if you are familiar with the ABL, of course, did come up and play for the Bite in the series against the Canberra Cavalry and did rather well.
Yeah, the return of Lando back to the Bite lineup. Certainly he's impressed here. He is one of the MVP candidates in the Super League this season. That'll be announced after the game today, the MVP. And he's certainly been the offensive, him and his teammate behind him have been the offensive machine. There's a drive. That one's going to be popped up. Little late start, but Vander Linden's going to call for it. Drift back over to his right. And catch it just in front of him. Nice little easy inning for Tyler Thompson. 1, 2, 3.
Exactly what the Carp needed, as it will now be up to them to try and get something going offensively. But important to get them started off right and not give up any runs early, because, you know, if you get into an early hole here in Super League, if it goes, you know, past that 4-run slam range, then things can just get that a little bit more difficult. So 0-0 scoreline, but it will be now the Carp with Nathan van der Linden, Blake Farr and Curtis Mead will be leading it off. We'll use this opportunity to roll through the rest of the lineup as well. So van der Linden, Farr and Mead, 1, 2, 3. Angus Rozier at 4. Wilson Lee will be at 5. Mason Clavel at 6. Pat Inglis at 7. Liam Bull at 8. And Ben Keeping will round it out in the 9-hole with Geordie Gross pitching on the mound for the Dunmar Crushers, who has done a very good job for them this season.
He's established himself as their starting pitcher the last about 4 weeks. And see, the last couple of Dunmar Crushers started off really hot. They started the first 3 weeks, got wins. They looked like they were going to be the team to beat. Looked like they were going to be the ones were going to kind of walk over everybody. Then they ran into a little funk when they played the Carp. Then a draw, a couple more losses. But then Geordie Gross kind of took the reins as the pitcher. The last couple weeks had a great start to get them into the semifinal last week. Had another good start last week after his team spotted him 6 in the first. And then turned it over to the bullpen, which it's going to be equally as important as the starting pitcher in the Super League, as the pitchers do only get 2 innings or 40 pitches.
Oh, really for the Dunmar Crushers, it's been Gross, and then they've handed it to Chapman, and that's set up, you know, essentially 4 of the 7 innings that they need to get through. And then they've just been able to go by committee the rest of the way. Herrera, as we mentioned, has been the late sort of substitution to come in as well. So really, when you've only got to worry about 2 innings and filling that with a wealth of talent, it just makes things that much easier for the Crushers, and hence why they have handed it over to Geordie Gross once again in this do-or-die game. Winner becomes champions.
Yeah, it's going to be the pitchers that probably do carry it, because you look at the pitching staffs here. 275 batting average against for the Crushers, as opposed to a 214 batting average against for the Carp pitching. The Carp pitching have kind of done it, but it is going to be one of those games where the bullpens probably be up early, just in case. If you don't want to fall behind by more than probably 2, because that's where you're going to start getting yourself into trouble.
So Nathan van der Linden will step in to start it off for the Carp. First pitch by Gross. A fastball on the outside half, catches the zone, 0-1 count.
Van der Linden's done a nice job in the leadoff spot. He's well over 300 leadoff spot, a little bit lower there. There's going to be a ground ball. Andrews just knocks his glove a little bit. Gross gets over, quick flip, and he gets it first. It's good recovery there by Andrews after he tried to scoop it up just off his glove. Gross getting over, exactly what a pitcher's supposed to do. Had his glove up, and they ended up being the easy out.
And we get another look on the replay here thanks to Black Chrome, and it was going to be a bang-bang play at first. And pretty close if you ask me, but looks like the right call. So 1 out, as that will bring up Blake Farr.
Yeah, getting an odd start in the DH spot tonight. And he takes fastball for strike 1. been primarily their left and right fielder throughout the year, alternating between the outfields. Today they go with Keeping and Wilson Lee, and Farr goes to the DH spot because I don't think he can keep his bat out, hitting almost 400, 375 in the Super League.
So 1-1 count, 1 out, bases clear. Breaking pitch that just hangs a bit, but it will be flown out towards center field as Matt Hutchings will take it. And we'll use this opportunity with 2 out to roll through the Denmark Crushers defensively. Matt Hutchings, who you saw just take that catch, he's in center field. Gary Owens in left with Nick Talbot in right field. At third base, Anthony Herrera. Shortstop, Jeremy Cresswell. At second base, Josh Cakebread. First base, Ben Andrews and Landon Hernandez behind the dish.
Yeah, Curtis Mead coming up here with 2 outs. He's hitting a cool 625 coming into the finals here. He's the Carp candidate for MVP. Him, Landon Hernandez, Ben Andrews, and probably Matt Hutchings. That one's going to be a drive. Looks like Hutchings has that one played, but it's going to tail into right field. And that one's going to be put away for an easy 1-2-3 inning. And the Denmark Crushers, Jordy Gross, counters the 1-2-3 inning of Tyler Thompson.
Yeah, 1-2-3 for both teams. We are going to head to the top of the second. Still no score.
Black Chrome is the official partner of Super League Baseball Adelaide. Head to the Black Chrome website to view the new range of custom baseball apparel and see why so many teams are choosing to partner with Black Chrome.
Adelaide University now snapping off very confident.
There is your championship.
Joshua score! Joshua score!
From Lana Kaiser. He's going to go all the way.
Go score!
She got 2 little horns and they give me a little bit.
And welcome back to Super League action here on the top of the second inning. Joined by, should I call you the president of the Super League or just the head dog of the Super League, Chris Tank Adamson?
The spiritual founder, we'll call it.
Perfect. So, impressions after the first season of the Super League. We're in the championship game here. We got to see the full 10 weeks. I know we had the one washout, but what were your impressions of the first season?
Oh, it's been really good, and I know I'm obviously a little bit biased, but just the fact that all of these guys can come out on a weekly basis and play out here under lights on a nice field and get the full bells and whistles in terms of the stream and the music and all that stuff. So that in itself is pretty cool, and not to mention the quality of the baseball is pretty solid as well. So that's been a win all round.
Yeah, I definitely think from the first week, there's a good fastball. Thompson blows it right by Andrews to get ahead to 1-1. I think from the first couple of weeks, I think guys were just enjoying the new league. Weren't really sure how serious to take it, but the last couple of weeks, and especially the last 2, when we had the kind of almost back-to-back playoff weeks, there was some real ground ball over to Van der Linden, up and over to first for the first out of the inning. There was some real competition going on between some of the guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just talking about that last week, actually, the fact that the first couple of weeks had almost like an all-star game feel to it, so guys really enjoying playing with different teammates, and then once they started to gel as a unit, it started to get really competitive, and they can go back to their clubs and they can be talking smack to the guy next to them who they're playing on the Wednesday. So that for me is really cool, and I know the guys are really enjoying it too, so it's been fun to watch.
Yeah, and we've also got to see, kind of from the Adelaide Bike perspective, you got to see a little bit throughout the year from new players joining the team. Some performances here may have helped. The Chinese players who have had an opportunity once they arrived have really performed in this league a little bit, and they're, I guess, part of the development unit that's going on with your team there.
Yeah, no, it's been great, and there's been a few guys that have really increased their stock. I know when we spoke a few weeks ago, we were talking about that, and there's been some guys where you can just see, the consistency and the ability to perform at a fairly high level on a more consistent basis. It's been something that is a real eye-opener for us, and it's a way that we can continue to build on that and use this as not only a stepping stone to the bite, but also a way that we can evaluate our guys a little bit more accurately.
Yeah, and I think that's probably what some of the younger players have gained. You said a couple of them have increased their stock value. I think some of the younger players that maybe have taken initiative in this league have shown that they're not just the bottom of the order hitters for their club team. They're not just the spot starters for their club team. They can actually play with the big boys.
Oh, absolutely. There's so many good stories, like Tom Fitzgerald's been an outstanding one, the guy out there right now. Liam Bull is just a young kid that did our academy in the winter and worked his butt off, and I've got some really high thoughts on him, and he's a guy who's going after this ball right now, and there you go. Yeah. We taught him that in the winter.
As you talk about him, that's right there.
But it's just great to see guys like that. Like, he's getting to play alongside guys, that he's watched at bite games. He's playing with Angus Roger right now, who he used to go and watch, 5 years ago. So that for me is just, that's just really cool, and that's a bit of a carrot in front of him to show that he really can compete at the next level and just continue to build.
Yeah, speaking of Liam Bull's one of those guys, he's getting the start tonight at third base. He makes that catch there. That throughout the year, he was one that he started opening day at third base for them, but I don't think he started for about the next 5-6 weeks or so. He wasn't really used very much. He didn't. That first day, he looked probably maybe a little nervous because he didn't have the best of days. But 2 weeks ago, when it was kind of a win and you get first place in the bye, came up with 2 big hits in the inning that they scored a bunch of runs, and he played a good third base that game, so gets rewarded with another start today.
Oh, it's awesome. It's just it's great to see that for me, and like, we're all about, particularly in my role from a Baseball SA perspective, and being able to hopefully help guys progress to the next level, whatever that is, whether it just be permanent contributors in the A grade level at their club, or making a state team or a national team, or playing with the bite, or going to college, pro ball, whatever it might be, and just having another stepping stone on that journey is just something that's really cool to watch.
So is that something that after getting the first year inaugural season kind of behind us here, is there something that you look forward to maybe addressing in the off season towards doing it again next year? Maybe changes in rules, or kind of how you want to play X number of rookies, or anything that's kind of floating around early? Yeah,
I mean, we'll sit down here in the next few weeks while it's still relatively fresh and evaluate the things we did well and things that we could do better. And I think, so one of them straight off the bat will be how you can actually retain your team and how much of that team you can retain, because I think the draft system is still something that has its merits, and it can keep a bit of a changeover of players, whilst you can still keep a core group that you can start to create a bit of an identity for your team or your organisation, whatever you want to call it. So that's one of the things that we'll definitely look at. And I think the rookie thing has almost happened organically, which has been really good in the sense that we talked about, some types of participation rules, but just with the nature of this league and some guys not being available 100% of the time, it's actually allowed some young guys to maybe get more game time than I think they actually initially thought about. So that for me is something that if we can build on that, and whether we have to put a structure around it, I'm not sure, but it's something that for me absolutely has merits in long-term growth of the game.
That's definitely something that I think we've seen throughout the weeks, especially early on when it was trying to figure out your pitching staffs, with teams having to use their pitchers, especially when in the local league, the SABL, there was doubleheaders in the first couple of weeks. A lot of pitchers had to be used, so you got to use some of the younger players who maybe haven't had that much of an opportunity the last few weeks as things are tightening up a bit. But it is something that I think the coaches have kind of maybe gotten, as you used organically, gotten a little better with communication as well, and something that is kind of the learning experience, because you don't want to have somebody go and throw 105 pitches on Sunday, 2 days later run out and throw another 40.
Absolutely, and it's just something that, it takes, and it opens the eyes for a lot of people as to how much planning actually goes into, your plan before a game or before a week, like when the club ball comes into it, and just how you're going to use your guys, and then you still also have to manage the game as it comes. So it's a great challenge, and that was part of the idea as well. So we want to obviously develop on the playing side of things, but the same token, we want to also develop more coaches and managers in this league, and I think that's something that's actually really been good. I know I speak with Scott Gladstone a lot at the bike games, and he's loving it, and just how forward thinking you have to be here given the tight pitch restrictions. So it's been something that is another level to development as well.
Yeah, it's something that I guess the coaching staffs that were selected after the general managers, the coaching staffs were selected before the draft, and one of the things you see out of the coaches that a lot of them aren't affiliated currently with local SABL teams. They're a little bit away from the teams. They're all former players, great players of the leagues, but this gets them a little back into it, but maybe without any kind of commitment to any particular team.
Yeah, that's right, and we did try and consciously do that, to be honest with you, just because there was potential for. That's a great play right there.
Great play there by Josh. Seen that one for a few years now.
He can definitely pick it. Watching those two up the middle is as good as it can be in this country.
And get on the replay here, Willie Lee. He was sniffing out a base hit, running hard down first, but Cake Red with a great play to his left, able to come up and make the throw, and that's Jordy Grosses. He's one out away from having himself in 2 good innings. So anything, you guys are headed off to Mount Gambier this week to face the Tuatara, Auckland. Your former coaching buddy, Steve Mintz, running the show there. It'd be something interesting going up to Mount Gambier there.
Yeah, it's really. I can't wait to go, actually. There's a sneaky big baseball community down there, and they really get around sport in general. So to be able to go down there and take the Adelaide bite to them is just something that I'm really excited about, because that's just another way that we can. Another good play.
Another great defensive play, and of course gets over, covers, and we got back-to-back innings. So Jordy Gross's 2 innings, nothing, matches Tyler Thompson's 2 innings and nothing, and after 2 innings, it's. You gonna stick around, Tank, or you got some commitments to do here tonight?
Yeah, I'll hang around for another inning more.
All right, we're gonna head after 2 innings. It's 0-0.
Specialized knowledge, ability to deliver, and professionalism are keys to our successful relationship. A friendly and experienced team.
She got 2 little horns and they give me a little bit.
And welcome back to Bennett Field. We're going to the top of the 3rd inning. Denmark Crushers 0, Carp 0 in the inaugural Super League final here Wednesday night. We got a Wojtek call to the bullpen, as Tyler Thompson did his 2 innings of 0 today. Got part of the Super League rules is that we do have to make the pitching changes, go to the next one, and they're going to turn it over to Brian Duncan. He's got a casual 11 innings of 0 for an ERA. He's really showed that he can be a force in the Super League and in the SABL. I think this has kind of spurred confidence in him with his local club as well. One of the nice parts of the Super League too, creating confidence.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he's a guy that kind of gambled on himself last year to come down from Queensland, and it's starting to pay dividends. He's had some time at the bite, so last year, and he's still in the mix to get on the mound for us this year. And he's a guy that works his butt off and does everything you ask of him. So he has a chance to be pretty solid. He's been the bat a little bit too, so it's good to see him having some success.
Yeah, we got one of the Asian players over here, Bruce Wang, DHing for the Denmark Crushers. This will be a good matchup for him, as Duncan does have a good fastball, but he's got a little of a slinging motion. He comes from his left side, kind of across his body, and he kind of pounds the inside on righties and the outside corner on lefties, as we see Clavel setting up there out again.
Yeah, he's got a little funky head snap going on, and Yeah, it's a different look for the hitter, that's for sure. But Bruce isn't intimidated. He had that bat in Brisbane off Ryan Bollinger, who was in the big leagues this year with the Yankees, and lefty at 96. So, and yeah, didn't take a backward step. So, see how it goes.
Takes fastball in the outside corner there. Yeah, another one of the players who came in, didn't get a lot of time just because kind of a late addition. 2 big hits last week for the Dunmark Crushers in their rout of the Clippers to get here to the grand final. We left off talking about, there's a good fastball fall back. Talk about the games this coming up week in Mount Gambier and the baseball community down there.
Yeah, no, it's going to be, as I said, I'm really excited. There's not too much else I can say about it. Just the fact that we get to take, the Adelaide Bite down there is just something that's huge, and I think we can really grow not only our supporter base, but I think we can start to grow the game down there too, and the kids in that city can get a bit of a look at what they can do if they want to pursue something. So it's a great eye opener for them, and it's a good opportunity for us to continue to grow the game.
Yeah, myself, I haven't been down to Mount Gambier yet in the 3 years that I've been here, but from what I've heard, it's a nice baseball facility, a great park. Lights should be good. I know we have a few players that venture in on weekends to play for some of the local clubs, and speaking to them a few times, they enjoy coming in to play baseball, but they get it because I guess there was some baseball kind of clinics that have been done in the past years down there, and kind of just trying to promote it like you mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't been down there either, so that's another level of excitement to go and see a different place, another corner of South Australia. But yeah, I've heard nothing but good things, facility-wise and how they get around the sport. No, they've got a little sports academy down there that they're trying to build up with a number of different sports. So hopefully we can grow the baseball component down there and just increase that talent pool.
Yeah, well, you're getting to face Auckland this upcoming weekend. We mentioned you're going to see some familiar faces. They got a number of players there that are former guys that are from the SABL and have had a couple opportunities with the Bite. In the past, guys like Max Brown and Bo Bishop, and you mentioned Steve Mintz was coaching them. It'd be nice to catch up and kind of speak to him again.
Oh, absolutely. It's always good to catch up with old friends, and that's going to be fun. It's also pretty fun beating them too, so hopefully we can go down there and play okay. But they're a solid unit. They've got some really good players, and they're continuing to grow, so we've just got to make sure that we take care of the things that we can control and hopefully have some success at the end of the game.
Well, hopefully you guys continue the good games that you just played this past weekend. I know some of the results weren't what you wanted, but they were all one-run games, low-scoring games. Pitchers were doing a tremendous job, and just getting the bats going a little bit more. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, pitchers did a hell of a job, as you mentioned, and then, the hitters, obviously, were a little cold in terms of how many runs we scored, but at the same token, we faced some seriously good pitching. Like three of their Japanese guys, they're all big league guys, and one of them being a key figure on the national team in Samurai Japan. So seeing those guys, it's good to see where we're at, but I guess taking solace in it, although we only won one game, we gave ourselves an opportunity to win all 4. So at the end of the day, if you give yourself a chance to win, then you're okay, and it's just a matter of making the most of your opportunities when they're presented.
Any surprises that you've seen out of the young players in the development camp that kind of push them towards maybe getting out of the development squad and into the main roster?
Yeah, Mitch Lightbody's done a good job every time he's come up and made the most of his opportunities, particularly in the box. He swung the bat pretty well and came away with us to Geelong, and he's right in the mix. And Mason Clavel's coming away with us this week, and he'll most likely get a game behind the dish, which will be good for him, and just see how he goes at that level again. And just with that, we're also we've had a fair bit of solidarity in the lineup, which has been good. So exposure's been a little tough, but if we continue to kind of drip feed them and set them up for success as best we can, it'll be fun.
All right. Well, as we can see, we're down. Pitchers are dominating this game. Neither team has a hit as we're going to head to the bottom of the third inning, still scoreless. Going to thank you for joining us up here. I'll let you scoot off and get some of you enjoying some of this game. Maybe grab yourself a little bevy and watch the end of the championship here. Thank you, Chris, for coming to see us. For the bottom of the third, we're going to throw over to Eric. He's down. Not sure which dugout he's hiding in, but he's going to end up in both of them by the end of it here as he goes. Thank you for joining us, Chris.
Thank you.
Pitcher's duel it's going to be. So we're hoping that we can crack through pretty early in the game. and we've got good pitching staff. We're hoping to work through our lineup.
So one of the nominees for Pitcher of the Year is Ryan Duncan. Just finished another, he was okay once again. What's going on with Ryan Duncan? He's been amazing this tournament so far.
I think he's really enjoyed his chance to pitch here. He's an infielder, he's an outfielder as well, but he's really relished the chance to pitch, and being a lefty, he's given us some good balance on both sides of the pitch.
So tell me about what it's been like for you this season with the Super League. Like, how did that come about, and how's the season gone for you?
Well, that's been pretty interesting, because Angus asked me if I wanted to be part of the team, what part of the coaching staff, and I jumped on board, and he's been really, really good as a great manager, and he just likes the way that we run the team. So we've got a good coaching group, and it's been a real pleasure and honour so far. It's been good.
And we're keeping going here. One of your marquees up to bat right now, Mason Clavel. We'll probably call the first out of the inning here. Greeny, you're now the color commentator. I'm down here with Mace up to bat. What's the book, though, on the Crushers here? How do you go about beating them? You split the season series with them. They're a bloody good team.
Look, we're head-to-head, 1-1. We're just trying to just chip away, keep the runs down, use our pitches, and just try and score early is the key. We've got a good bunch of guys who are they just listen to what you tell them to do, and they've been really, really good.
This guy had a pretty key hit a couple of weeks ago to get you basically in a must-win game versus the Wasps, at the plate.
Yeah, we had a chat about his at that time and before he went to the plate. And to his credit, he did a really good job. Not so good that time, but we've still got a little bit of ball to go.
So before we go here, we got a pitcher's duel going on here. When you're managing in a pitcher's duel, what do you do? Everything just seems to be magnified a little bit more. So how do you keep everyone going?
Just got to keep everybody focused. Plenty of talk, plenty of hustle, and just back up the pitcher. And they're throwing good strikes as well, so it's good.
Greeny, we really appreciate you joining us down here from the Dugout Live. Anything you want to add about what's going on today?
No, we're just going to play the best baseball we can. Good bunch of guys, and hopefully we can come away with a good win.
It's a quick-moving game, Greeny. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thanks very much.
Back to you guys up in the booth.
Thank you, Eric. As it is currently Liam Bull stepping up to the batter's box, working with a 1-0 count. Gets the first strike against Joel Chapman, who is newly inserted into this ball game, taking over for Geordie Gross.
Yeah, Chapman's in his 8th appearance here. 7 appearances, got 3.21 ERA. He's done a great job for them in mid-relief. The ERA is a little bit higher compared to some of the other pitchers that have been kind of spoken about today already. And that was really only all in one game, which he gave up 3 or 4 runs. Otherwise, he's been pretty dominant, just throws lots of strikes, fills up the zone, doesn't really walk anybody.
2-2 and fouls it off. And special thanks to Tank for coming in and having a bit of a chat with us here in the booth. It's always good to have someone of that caliber come down and, of course, involved so much in South Australian baseball. So I appreciate him taking time out of his schedule. And his ball with the bouncing ball, and Cake Bread just going to casually throw it over to first for another out, second out of the inning.
Yeah, last time we had Tank up here, it was I believe the Wasps and the Clippers, and he was up here, got us 6 runs in half an inning. There was an offensive explosion. Balls were flying all over the place, but tonight nothing. So it's pitcher's duel. Chapman's already got 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Now Ben Keeping stepping in for his first at bat with the bases cleared, 2 out. Chapman working quickly. Herrera with a hit from him, but it will be a throw by Cresswell, not in time. I'm not sure where that got Herrera, but it seemed like it took an unlucky bounce, potentially around the neck and bottom of the face area. Yeah, it looks to be all right.
Looked like it was an in-between chopper here that he kind of got there and then got it off just below the chin and the upper chest area. Hopped right over to Cresswell, who tried to get Keeping, but he was hustling down the line. So the Carp have their first base runner tonight. Little infield single, see if they have something going with 2 outs.
Oh, now
he's going to get an opportunity there. And that time he makes good. Another quick inning. Pitchers are dominant.
Yeah, gets another chance here. We are going to go to a break with the score still 0-0. You are watching the Super League.
Black Chrome is the official partner of Super League Baseball Adelaide. Head to the Black Chrome website to view the new range of custom baseball apparel and see why so many teams are choosing to partner with Black Chrome.
adversity. Now snatching off the a little bit of confidence.
It's your championship. Joyce will score. Joyce will score. He will
Flag from Lannick Hazer. He's going to go all the way.
go score.
The goal.
She got two little horns and they give me a little bit.
Well, welcome back to Super League Baseball. It's the grand final, and we're in the dugout with head coach of the Crushers, Scotty Gladstone, joining us for a little bit of action here. Scotty G, first off, how's the first season of Super League Baseball been in your perspective?
Yeah, it's been great. I think it's achieved what it was supposed to. You know, the young kids are getting to play against good competition, and I feel like a lot of kids have improved. So it's been good so far.
How about you as a manager? Like, it's been challenging. Even a game like this, the pitcher's duel, but you got to keep changing pitchers every 2 innings. So how do you go about putting the right guys in at what time, and did you change anything up as the season went on?
Yeah, it's tough to manage, but we've got a good group of coaches with me, and we discuss stuff during the week and play out some situations, and hopefully they go the way we play.
So a guy like Jordy Grouse, as we're getting swatted by flies here and getting things thrown at us, classic. You know, he was sort of at the end of rotation guy at the beginning of the season, and now you have him right off the bump to start the game. Is that sort of the little adjustments you make mid-season?
Yeah, I feel like we just wanted to reward the hot hand. Jordy's been our best pitcher this season, so thought we'd just go with him, and he's done well for us.
So how do you get through a game like this here? Walk me through it. You know, it's 0-0. We're already almost at the halfway point because it's just a 7-inning game. So what sort of adjustments do you make, or do you keep in mind knowing that, you know, it's maybe just 1 or 2 runs in this one?
Yeah, well, I mean, we talked to the guys before the game about expecting a battle. It's always going to be a close game, wind blowing in, you know, tough conditions. So we just got to take advantage of those opportunities when they present, and hopefully they do soon.
Who's been the guy on the team that surprised you the most, that maybe when you guys were sitting at that draft table, obviously you picked him for a reason, but it's just blown your expectations away?
I think Ben Andrews has been one of our hot hitters this year, and we didn't know too much about him. We went off Hardy's word, and he's been crushed to the ball, so hopefully he can get a couple of knocks for us today. Yeah,
he's one of the top 5 vote getters in the MVP tips so far. Who's your tip for MVP of the competition?
No, I think it's pretty hard. I mean, I looked at it this week, looked at some numbers. A lot of guys are about the same, so yeah, I'm not sure about that one.
Well, it's still a no-score ball game right now. Jeremy Creswell trying to work a walk and bringing the count to full, trying to get a runner on. Runner's hard to come by in this game.
That's right, yeah. I mean, you're going to have to hit a couple of line drives and maybe have a defensive mistake to get on the board. And our guys have hit a few balls hard so far, and hopefully one falls in soon.
So what's the inside word? Who's at the end of the pen for you today?
We'll go Herrera if we're close at the end. So.
Well, a walk over for Creswell, so he gets a runner aboard. The Crushers are going. I think we'll throw this back up to the guys to call it for you. But Scotty G, thank you so much for joining us, and hope you've had fun in the Super League this year.
All right, thanks, Eric.
Back up to you guys.
Thank you, Eric. As Jeremy Creswell reaches on base, I believe that is the first base runner for the Dunmar Crushers so far. So it's taken to the second time round for them to get someone on board. Just shows how good these pitchers have been to get a start.
Certainly been a pitcher's game so far. Bottom of the 3rd inning was the first inning that the Carp got their first base runner, and that was with 2 outs. See if a leadoff walk here for there's going to be a bunt from Herrera. It's a good bunt. He's not going to have a play at first on that. It's going to be an infield single. That ball is thrown away from first baseman. And Dunmar Crushers have their first run scoring opportunity. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out.
Well, an important bunt, but an even more important error. So now runners at 2nd and 3rd for the Dunmar Crushers. So we get another look at a fantastic bunt. You can just see the unnecessary throw over to first, ball getting away from the first baseman, Angus Rozier. And then from there, it just allowed them that extra bit of breathing.
It was a great bunt there by Herrera. It was a bunt that was at least going to be a sacrifice. If it was a really good bunt, he was going to get himself to first, which it was. Third baseman Bull should have just put that in his pocket, flipped it back to the pitcher. But now the pitching staff's got a little work to do here with the MVP candidates, Hernandez and Andrews, the 2 leading RBI guys in the league, coming up here back to back.
And they've got no outs for this inning, so they've got a bit to work with here. So 1-0 count to Hernandez. Duncan gonna go up high, evens up the count. 2-0 count.
Where the finesse of a pitcher kind of comes into play. He has a first base open. You will give up a double play here for 1 run if you can. So walking Hernandez isn't the worst thing. Giving him something he can handle here is probably not going to be what's on slate. There's a ball in the dirt. Not really a pitch that he's going to swing at, offer at. Nearly threw it away. And the coach has got to be thinking maybe just to intentionally put him on to avoid a mistake pitch or another one in the dirt.
Well, that's another thing. If a ball gets away from the catcher, then potentially a run could score. So Duncan, see if he's going to attack here. Still searching for the first strike. Does attack, a hard hit ball by Hernandez that is going to roll foul. That's where he's aiming for. Get one right down the line. If that goes fair, couple of runs on the board, Crushers 2-0 lead. They're almost at the middle point of this ball game.
He got himself inside there. Good pitch, got it just under the hands. Hernandez wasn't going to be able to keep that one fair if he hit it, which he did. See what he does here. Something that doesn't want to throw something that he can hit because you do have that open base.
2-2, another one down the dirt, nicely blocked by Clavel. Full count tonight. First one that we've seen for either team. But for the Crushers, it's a big one. Duncan going to miss low and away. Hernandez works the walk. As you said, Rob, not necessarily the worst thing in the world. You would trade the double play to that run crossing home plate, but you're bringing up Ben Andrews, MVP candidate, who has been one of the hottest hitters in the Super League.
Yeah, he's definitely been a couple home runs. He's only got 1 RBI less than Landon Hernandez, who's the leading RBI guy. And we are going to have Wojtek call the bullpen as manager Paul Green's going to go get himself his next arm. Looks like that might be Willie Lee coming out of the bullpen there. They're going to no, it's actually going to be Josh Lapchiana coming out. He's had a couple good games for the Adelaide Angels the last couple weeks. Back-to-back 7-8 inning performances, only giving up 1 run or no runs. Man, that is a strikeout pitcher, which is what they're going to need right now.
Okay, important as they go through the middle part of this order, 4, 5, 6, Andrews, Cape Bread, Owens. We are in the top of the 4th inning. Neither team, as you can see, with runs on the board here in this inaugural Super League Grand Final.
As we see Josh warming up here, it's Wojtek call to the bullpen. It's a good time to thank Wojtek for being one of our sponsors this season. Wojtek, proud South Australian telecommunication company, providing landline, high-speed internet, and mobile phone services for business. We promise 3 things. 1, we'll save you money. 2, we will provide you an abundance of functionality. 3, we will excel in local service. In summary, we just do it better. For more information, visit voitech.com.au.
Special thanks to Wojtek, Black Chrome, all of our sponsors that we've had so far over the course of this season. We should also give a huge thanks to Space Quake Sports for putting together every single broadcast so far this season.
And we see at first base there, Landon Hernandez was walked. One of the rules of the Super League is catchers do have runners. So Charlie Ashcroft moves in to run for him. And we're in a big spot in the game. Top of the 4th inning, 0-0 game. Dunmar Crushers have the bases loaded. Nobody out. Their number 4 cleanup man, Ben Andrews, up to bat.
And first pitch by Lapchiana, going to catch the zone. 0-1 count.
Andrews geared up for a fastball there. Lapchiana gave him a big bender there from the lefty. He get ahead 0-1.
For Andrews Andrews, 6-3 ground out last time around. That is exactly what the Carp are looking for. Of course, strikeout would be the most optimal, but they would take a double play here. Hard hit ball by Andrews towards left center. It will be taken. Runner look to be tagging up, but no, they're not going to move. Strong throw by Inglis. Just stops that run from scoring an important out there.
Yeah, great job by Lapiana to get a fly ball to center field that wasn't deep enough to score the first run of the ball game. Patty Inglis came in and strong arm from center field. He runs back-to-back curveballs there. That one a little bit lower. Andrews able to golf it. Unhappy with himself there. Knows that he needed a little bit more.
So now Josh Capebread. First pitch by Lapiana, going to miss the zone. The Capebread pop fly to third base in his first at-bat. Now lefty-lefty matchup. Just makes things that little bit more difficult. Lapiana catches the outside part of the zone. Fastball with some velocity behind it. Got Capebread to swing through, couldn't catch up.
Got himself ahead of Capebread here, 1-2. Look to see if he comes back with that good fastball or if he goes to his big bender. Another fastball. Had him in the rocking chair, had him sitting on either or. Fastball outside corner. 2 big outs for Lapiana here. Bases loaded. 2 out now for a team that the last couple of weeks has scored some runs. The man up to bat, Gary Owens, could be the one that's got them going every inning, even with Andrews and Hernandez being the MVP candidates that they are.
Yeah, just because they've got 2 outs doesn't mean the Denmark Crushers can't make them pay.
One of the most feared batters in the SABL the last 4 years here, Gary Owens.
Just going to be patient here on the first 2 pitches. Have an even count 1-1. So Lapiana coming in a pressure-filled situation. Fly ball by Owens is going to go foul, but did have some heft behind it.
Lapiana now 1 strike away from doing a huge job for the Carp here in the top of the 4th inning as he entered with the bases loaded, nobody out. He's now got bases loaded, 2 out, ahead 1-2 on the count.
Searching for that put-away pitch. Owens trying to put him ahead. Ground ball to second. Mead will get it. Strong flip to second, and that will get the 3rd out. Bit of a heart-in-mouth moment, but the Carp get out of it unscathed. The Crushers let an opportunity go. Get another look on the replay. That will retire the side.
Well, mark that one down as a possible momentum changer. Denmark Crushers started the inning with a walk, which inning opening walks are usually big killers. An error put him on 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. Another walk loaded them. Coach Paul Green went to his bullpen, called on Josh Lapiana. He came out, did the job with a shallow pop-up, a strikeout, and there a ground ball from Gary Owens. We'll see if they can get the bats going now as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning already. Still 0-0 because of the pitcher's duel.
Mead and Erosia. Hitters shot 2, 3, 4. Get a beautiful look at the ballpark here. Sun still around the ballpark. Usually by this time, sun's starting to set. Could potentially be a bit of a factor for the pitchers out there, especially if they're left-handed. But it does create for a beautiful sight.
It's a beautiful night. We've got full stands here tonight. Everyone's kind of come out to watch the grand final here. we're gonna see what happens here in the bottom of the fourth. This is the key point that I mentioned earlier at the top of the show about the veterans versus the young players. The veterans of the Dunmark Crushers just had a big opportunity, didn't score. A little more opportunity probably to keep composure to get back on here. But the youth and the vigorance of the younger players getting out of a big opportunity, that can blow the momentum up and keep it going and put up some crooked numbers possibly this inning.
Yeah, you just feel like with that getting out of the last inning for the Carp, bases loaded, none out. They managed to stop everyone from scoring as another ground ball towards second. The throw to first will be in time. So a classic 4-3 ground out with one out. It will bring up Curtis Mead. But just continuing my point, I just feel like the momentum, just with the Carp at the moment after getting out of that, it's very difficult to get out of a situation like that unscathed.
Oh, absolutely. That's going to be huge for the bench to get fired up and keep everybody going in a game that when the pitcher is a good curveball that Meady's going to send over to Cresswell, scoops up over to first. That when pitchers are running away with the game, it's easy for the hitters to kind of fall asleep, and that's where the players on the bench got to get everyone going. And you get out of a bases loaded, nobody out jam, that's a huge momentum turn.
So 2 out for the Carp as we get another look at that ground ball to Cresswell. So 2 out, bases clear for Angus Rozier, who started the Super League season with full facial hair and full head of hair.
Full facial hair, full hair, halfway down his back. Struggled a little bit early, and his bats heated up the last few weeks and probably helped turn it around a little bit for the Adelaide Bike when got 3 hits on the weekend.
Yeah. Now going clean shaven. Both these teams have only managed 1 hit so far. Carp do have the error. So pitcher's duel for sure. It's the pitch by Chapman. Good off speed. Gonna go down and drop out of the zone.
Good change up just in below the hand on an 0-2 pitch. Try to get him to chase something. Now he's gonna go away. Curveball. Herrera's gonna take that one off his chest, find it in his feet. Has a cannon over to first for final out of the 4th inning.
And with that, we are still tied 0-0 heading into the top of the 5th. We are going to go to a break. You're watching Super League.
Black Chrome is the official partner of Super League Baseball Adelaide. Head to the Black Chrome website to view the new range of custom baseball apparel and see why so many teams are choosing to partner with Black Chrome.
Adelaide University now snatching off the
Is your championship. Joyce will score. Joyce will score.
from Lana Kaiser. He's going to go on the wall.
Go score.
The goal.
She got 2 little horns and they give me a little bit.
Welcome back to West Beach Park. So look at the Dunmark Crushers dugout there as they will be leading off the top of this 5th inning. Fraser Fife and Rob Ushie here with the call. And both these teams still searching for their first run. Lapiana still going to be on the hill for the Carp after getting him out of that tight jam. Bases loaded, none out. And why wouldn't you keep him out there if he gets you through that?
Yeah, that's a great job from Lapiana coming in. Like you mentioned, bases loaded, nobody out, and he came in firing bullets. Started Andrews off with his big curveball, then he was just firing bullets at everybody and got out of the inning unscathed. Good changeup on the outside corner there to Bruce Wang. Struck out his first at bat against Duncan, and now he's got another lefty.
Wang's going to go towards the left. Just going to let it bounce. Van Keeping not going to challenge it. So Dunmark Crushers get a base runner on to start the top of the 5th.
Nice job there by Bruce to get himself an inside-out single into left field. Keeping had initial thoughts to come in, make a diving catch on that, but if it gets by him, that's extra bases, and late in the game already here in the 5th inning, you can't allow that. Played it up for a single, still double play potential with Nick Talbot coming up.
Yeah, Nick Talbot gonna show bunt, runner's gonna be off, throw by Rozier, now he's caught in a rundown. And he is going to be tagged between first and second. So runner is out. 1 out for the Crushers. If you have a look, just the cutaway footage that we had when he reached on base, you can see the first base coach naturally with the language barrier saying go. And I reckon that's something that Lapiana would have caught on to.
On a play like that, with a lefty on the mound, lefties have sometimes a pretty good move to first base. First pitch, you're going to have to show your good one, and you got to probably make sure the ball gets on the ground before you start running to second base. At the same time, Crushers were going to have Talbot bunt. Now he's going to get a chance to swing the bat, where last week he capped off that big first inning with a deep fly ball to left field that cleared the fences.
1-2 count. Talbot just taking that pitch. Yeah, it just makes things interesting. Now that he can swing away, he does have that power. I mean, for both these teams, they're just trying to search for consistent production. Of course, losing Wang, not exactly a great move there. Well, sometimes you got to take risks, and Talbot going to swing towards right field, going away, and that ball will just drift foul.
It's a carry into the Carp bullpen as we see a couple arms getting ready here. This will be Lapiana's last inning of work. In Super League, you're allowed 6 outs for 40 pitches. And he's got 4 outs so far, so he's got 2 more as we see him with a beautiful background there with the sunset behind the trees.
So currently a 2-strike count. And Talbot on the full count works the walk. So potential there with Wang being wiped out thanks to the rundown. They could have 2 runners on, none out. Now Talbot's just going to replace Wang.
I'm going to have the number 9 hitter, Matt Hutchings. He's hitting 9-hole all year for the Denmark Crushers, but it's not because of where he is. It's kind of a second leadoff. He has himself as a possibility for MVP as well this season, because he's just created absolute chaos for teams once he gets on base, stealing bases, being general pest out there, and getting his hitters at the top of the order better pitches to hit and drive them home.
Bouncing ball to the newly inserted Jay Sanderson, who will take that ball, throw over in time. So 2 out, Talbot moves up to second base. And lineup going to turn back over to the top in Jeremy Cresswell. So at least for the Carp right now, just trying to get through this one unscathed. Crushers, though, we've seen over the past couple of weeks, they've been able to put some good scoring games together. So with finals baseball, just plays that a little bit differently, a little bit more pressure on both sides.
Yeah, during the regular season here, Cresswell hit 100. He was 2 for 20. But in the last 2 weeks, when it was a win or go home and they needed to win, he had 2 hits. And then in the playoffs, he had 2 hits. So that's the veteran leadership that they wanted at the top of the order. That when it's a big game, he's been out there and he's developed. Here's another opportunity. There's 2 out, man in scoring position. He's down 2 strikes. They'll be looking for a little flare in the right field to get them on the board first here.
Well, this is why they drafted him, for situations like this. 0-2 count, 2 out, runner on. Marciano just going to throw that pitch up high. Trying to get into chase here, got a couple of pitches to work with. Another attempt in Cresswell, showing a good eye here in this at-bat. Evens it up 2-2. having someone like Cresswell here who's not really prone to striking out, does put the ball in play, has good contact abilities, good eye, did work the walk in his last at bat as well. It's important to have someone like this in your lineup. And ground ball towards shortstop. Throw by Van der Linden will be in time, and that will retire the side. Denmark Crushers get some runners on, but still clean scorecard, at least in relation to runs. Both teams still 0-0. And it really feels like it's going to be a matter of who blinks first here in this final.
Yeah, it's always been, for a one-game playoff, it's always been whichever pitching staff that you can get to first. Tonight, the pitchers have all done their job, but for the Denmark Crushers, this is the part where it's the getting to their closer in Herrera. It's that mid after the two starters. We knew Gross was going to start. Figured Chapman was going to be the second man out of the bullpen. That's the formula they've used for most of the season that has been successful. And now it's that part in between here of finding those arms that can get the outs. David Carroll's going to be the man. Been quite successful here in Super League so far this year. 7 1/3 inning. ERA of 4.91. Got a couple instances where he gave up 2 runs in an inning, but hasn't walked any batters, struck out 7 in 7 innings. So this is where possibly the Carp need to get some to someone. We're going to have kind of the bottom of the order coming up to see if they can set the table for the top.
And of course, thanks to Eric for the interview that we had with the Denmark Crushers coach, Scott Gladstone, of course, saying that he was going to go to Herrera in a late game situation. So we already know the start, we know the end. We're just going to get through those middle points. So for the Carp, it will be Wilson Lee, Mason Clavel, and Pat Inglis, barring any changes. All of those hitters have not reached on base so far in their one at bat.
Wilson Lee grounded out to second base last time. It was a great play by Josh Craigfred sliding to his left. He'll be looking to a little redemption here, trying to drive something to the gap and get himself on second to start.
So first pitch to Lee, going to be in for a strike. Go-to count here for Lisa. Going to have to be aggressive. Probably his trademark being aggressive, but deciding to take 2 straight pitches. Now going to have to try and work with a 2-strike approach. And swing and a miss. Talbot. Carroll just getting him to go down swing. Mason Clavel stepping in now. Currently out on a 3-1. Breaking pitch in for a strike.
Well, so far Carroll's come in throwing strikes. Shows good curveball there to start Clavel off. Follows it up with the, I believe that's a hard splitter that he's throwing there. That thing looks like it just dropped off the table into the dirt. Clavel swung and missed.
So yet again, quick 0-2 count. So Carroll throwing strikes. Tries to go again with that fastball down low. And this time, Clavel not going to bite. Similar position to what he did to Wilson Lee. Tries that breaking pitch, chopper up the middle, not going to be grabbed by Kate Brad. Clavel's going to get on. Just taking a cursory look towards second base, but he'll be happy with first. And the Carp have a runner on with 1 out.
Infield single here for Mason Clavel. Hit it right up the middle, a high chopper. Curveball just got a little bit in. Just off the glove as Kate Brad came across. Would have been a great play if he was able to throw that ball across his body. See if they look to run a little bit, as we do have with Clavel being the catcher. We do have a runner going in for him. A little more speed on the bases.
And I think Carroll's aware of that as well, going for a pick-off attempt. I don't think we've seen any of them tonight. Mission of pick-off attempts.
No, just Lafayette picking off Bruce last inning in the situation. It's Nick George in to run. One of the players from Super League that does possess great speed.
Well, goes for another breaking pitch. This one hangs a little bit, but luckily Inglis not going to bite on that one.
See if the Carp will look to get a little aggressive here, put a man in motion, and start maybe a hit and run with Paddy Inglis.
Another pick-off attempt, and Carroll, not a lot of head movement either. It's all just a quick flick of the wrist with that pick-off attempt. Just trying to catch him off guard. And a ball that's going to go through the 5.5 hole into left field. Carp with back-to-back hits here in the bottom of the 5th. Still one out.
Back-to-back singles and a little something brewing here. Speed on second base. One out only. Jay Sanderson coming in here, going to get his first at bat as he replaced Liam Bull as a defensive replacement last inning. Looks like Coach Green went to maybe a little more veteran leadership instead of the young man at third base who'd had a couple hits in the last week, but now with the game getting a little tighter, a little later, going back to some of the veteran players.
And going for a bit of a known quantity in Jay Sanderson. Carroll just taking his time and deciding to feint a move. But a pressure situation here for the Carp. The potential to get the first run across here in this grand final. Heat swing and miss there by Sanderson.
Good off-speed pitch there. Started on the outside of the plate and just disappeared as it crossed. Sanderson swinging for the ball that wasn't there.
And gets him going a little bit further out this time. Quick 0-2 count. Do you reckon he goes third time around?
Usually when you get ahead 0-2, you want to set yourself up. But when you got a guy swinging at the same pitch twice on the outside, why not? Why not try it a third time?
Well, let's see what he decides to go with. Decides to try and switch it up. Sanderson, luckily enough, pulling the bat back in time.
We got away with that one on the inside there. A little bit up. A little bit of a hanger that Sanderson was probably looking a little bit away as he lunged over the plate a little bit. Had to stand upright.
So Hernandez setting up outside. Goes for another breaking pitch. Got to be taken by Herrera. Runs all the way to the pitcher's mound before he throws and still out in time. So 2 out as the Carp do advance their runners second to third. To get another look on the black chrome replay. This is exactly what the Carp just need to do. Move shuttle to shuttle, try and get that crucial 2 out hit. And it will be up to Ben keeping.
Yeah, Herrera came across, took a little look at second base there, saw he didn't have a good attempt there, didn't want to risk throwing it away. Here they take the sure out, 2 outs. But the Carp do have 2 men in scoring position. Keeping did have a single, his first time up. Infield single, he was able to bounce one off a high chopper that bounced off the chest of Anthony Herrera as it took a hop. Wasn't able to recover and get him.
We just need something here. Herrera will get another chance. Throw to first will be in time. And that retires the Carp. They get some base runners on too. Both these teams going tit for tat, but no one can get that run across home plate. Heading into the top of the 6th inning, still scoreless as we get another look there. We're going to take a break. You're watching Super League.
Specialised knowledge, ability to deliver, and professionalism are keys to our successful relationship. A friendly and experienced team.
She got two little horns and they give me a little bit.
Welcome back to Super League Baseball as the sun slowly setting here at West Beach. And the sun also slowly setting on the inaugural Super League season. Grand final here between the Crushers and the Carp, with neither team being able to separate.
Yeah, the score you see on your black chrome scoreboard there, 0-0. We're headed to top of the sixth. We're getting to crunch time. Black Chrome Super League Baseball, Adelaide's official apparel provider and the most reliable baseball supplier in Australia. Visit Black Chrome online and experience the exceptional quality service and reliability for yourself. blackchrome.com.au. Wojtek called the bullpen. The Carp are going to Wilson Lee, take over. He's going to have the 2-3-4, Herrera, Hernandez, Andrews. This could be Dunmark Crushers' opportunity to put the first run across.
Now Wilson Lee started out in right field, now pitching. Gets the first pitch over for a strike. Important strike there, as he does, as you say, Rob, go through the middle part of the order. At least the most dangerous. Herrera, Hernandez, Andrews. Herrera able to get on base last time round via the bunt. Hernandez able to get on via the walk. Andrews with a hit out to center field. Didn't quite have the distance.
So far, Wilson Lee's been in 7 2/3 innings. He's got a 4.7 ERA. He's got 10 strikeouts, 7 walks. One of the hit and miss things that you get with Willie Lee. Lots of strikeouts, but he does have the tenacity of walking players sometimes, and that's what the Crushers are going to have to look for to take advantage of here. A little ground ball from Herrera over to second base, 4-3 for the first put out of the inning.
I suppose that's one of the benefits of being able to bring in a pitcher with, bases clean, new inning, especially with someone like Wilson Lee, who, as you said, can be a little bit of both. Either strikeouts are on, he's absolutely dealing, or potentially struggling to find the strike zone. Lee's first one there, throws strikes, gets the 2 strikes, and gets the ground ball.
Last time up, Landon Hernandez got the intentional, unintentional walk, as it was a second and third and nobody out. Didn't see too much that he could really handle. Didn't want to swing got to first. But then after that, brought in Josh Lafayette, who shut the door for 2 shutout innings. That's why we're still scoreless.
So should also mention with Wilson Lee on your screen now pitching, Nicholas George is listed as the right fielder. So newly inserted into the ball game. And again, 2-strike count here for Wilson Lee. See if you can find that put away pitch. Just left it a little bit high.
Curveball there, he left that one out. Didn't want to hang the pitch up 0-2 to his threat in Landon Hernandez. Now he's going to look probably to bury something in on his hands. The fastball inside, he's able to foul off.
1-2 count, Landon Hernandez, someone who's been able to get on base pretty effectively for the Dunmark Crushers. Facing the 2-strike count here.
Fouls another pitch off, battling alive here. Just looking for something he can handle. He's looking for a mistake, something that maybe hangs that he's going to be able to jump all over and drive out of here to break the deadlock of 0.
Does another curveball. Then leaves it up high. This one a little bit closer to the strike zone than last time round. But Hernandez still laying off. Evens it up 2-2.
Still looking to get Hernandez to chase something up in the zone. Obviously decided that up is where they want to go after him. There's a ground ball that just under Sanderson's glove. Vanderlinden's going to get it. High throw to first base. That one's going to get by. But Clavel backs up the play at first base. And that'll be an E6. And Dunmar Crushers have a base runner. We are going to have the pinch runner for the catcher, as the catcher does get a chance to go back in the dugout. And Crushers get a little bit more speed on the lineup in Charlie Ashcroft.
Vanderlinden just overcooking that throw. So it does give the Crushers a bit of a reprieve. Get another look at it here. See Hernandez, not exactly the fastest guy down the line, but fast enough. So we'll now bring up Ben Andrews. He himself is currently 0 for 2. He's going to be aggressive on that first pitch, swinging through. The fouls are back.
Got that first pitch fastball that he was looking for last time when he had the bases loaded, nobody out. He was able to drive the ball to center field, but just wasn't deep enough. The good arm of Patty Inglis was able to keep the runner at third and preserve the 0-0 game.
Another ground ball that's going to get past the diving Vanderlinden into left field. Now Dunmar Crushers back-to-back base runners. So both teams have now evened up with 3 hits apiece over the course of the ball game, but no one's been able to capitalize just yet.
Back-to-back hits here for the Dunmar Crushers, and they have something going again. Josh Cakebread coming up this time. Last time it was base was loaded and 1 out, struck out. He'll be looking to make good on that this time.
Now a lefty-lefty matchup. Cakebread so far, pop fly to third base and that strikeout that you mentioned. See what approach he decides to take here. Just feel like both these teams have been in this situation enough times over the course of this game. At some point, a team's going to break through.
That one fouled straight back. This is going to be one of the hitters that Lee's really going to want to go after and try to get a ground ball double play out of. Gary Owens on deck. Not exactly the man you want to have to go at with the bases loaded.
Definitely not. So 1-1 count, 1 out. Lee going for a breaking pitch that left up high yet again. Just struggling to bring that down.
He's having trouble getting on top of that curveball. See him take a look at his fingers. He knows he's just not getting on top. He's leaving it up.
Now 3-1 count here for Josh Cakebread. He's in the driver's seat. See if he gets the green light. And another pitch that's going to be a walk. Runners are going to move up. Bases loaded for the Dunmar Crushers with 1 out. Well, they've been here before. Carp able to tightrope their way out of it. So a chance for Gary Owens to be the hero tonight.
Yeah, he's been in this situation already tonight. Last time he was up, he had the bases loaded and 2 out. A little ground ball to Curtis Meade at second base for the 4-3 put up to end that inning. As we do see pitching coach Nick Hutchins on the mound, talking to Wilson Lee. We see in the bullpen Nick Carfora. See if they're going to look to make a change here. It all made happen what goes on in this at bat.
Well, it looks like Lee's going to get an opportunity here. So pressure situation. Gary Owens, he is currently 0 for 2. Searching for his first hit. And what a crucial moment it would be here in the top of the 6th. Lee, important first strike, gets it over.
Ice in his veins. Fastball on the block on the outside corner. It's ahead 0-1.
Still trying on that outside corner, just trying to get him to swing to induce that ground ball, potentially to that right side. Curtis Mead, Angus Rozier.
Doubled up on the fastball on the outside corner. Hit it the first time, decided to go a little further out, see if he would get him to chase. He comes back with a good off-speed pitch on the outside corner. They're continuing to stay away from Owens. Don't want to come inside where he can possibly get behind something and lift it deep enough to score that first run.
So 1-2 count, bases loaded. Pitch down low. Again, nicely blocked by Clavel. All of the runners on at the moment will just be off to the races if one goes past the catcher.
That's when, as a pitcher, you got to have confidence in your catcher. You got to be able to throw it in the dirt with that man on third, possible game on the line. Good fastball up in the zone, climbing the ladder. Get Gary Owens swinging through that. Second out of the inning. Leave it up to Bruce Wang, the DH. Had himself a single last time, lead off the inning, but promptly picked off first, so he probably is going to want to make amends for that.
Yeah, went inside out, took it towards left field. Let's see what he can do this time around. There's Wilson Lee after that Naum visit, starting to just throw some strikes, getting the counts in his favor.
You know, love that as a pitching coach. You come out and talk to your pitcher, he strikes a batter out on 5 pitches, makes you look like a genius. This one he's gonna pop up to center field. Patty Inglis coasts under it, final out of the inning. The visit was perfectly timed. The Carp pitchers continue to get themselves out of trouble and go to the bottom of the 6th. Still scoreless baseball.
Well, things are getting tense. You get another look there. Wilson Lee has been tempting guys up with the fastball high. Of course, breaking pitch hasn't exactly worked, so he's stuck with the fastball off speed, and it gets him out of that inning. So you get a look at the crowd here tonight. It's Wednesday night baseball, hot day. Now it's perfect. Weather just starting to cool down. Sun slowly setting here at the ballpark. Couldn't ask for anything better.
Perfect night for the grand final of Super League. Whether you're joining us here tonight on the feed or on the replay when it's on Friday or Saturday on NITV. Hopefully you've enjoyed this game. If you're local in Adelaide, make sure next year when this gets going, you come out and watch. These guys are really starting to enjoy the Super League, and it's going to be even better next year.
So Carroll still on the hill for the Dunbar Crushers for the Carp. I believe it will be the top of the order yet again, Van der Linden, Farr and Mead. So for them, no one there has been able to get on base. Really, not a whole lot of players in general have been able to get on base. These teams have been limited to 3 hits apiece. And the pitching has definitely taken center stage here.
Carroll's staying in for his 2nd inning of work. Got into a little bit of trouble with back-to-back singles last inning after getting it out, but he got himself out of it with a couple ground balls to Herrera. Now he's going to have the top of the order to deal with in his 2nd inning of work.
Van der Linden, 3-1 ground out, a 5-4 fielder's choice. See what he can do against Carroll, who was throwing some good strikes in his 1st inning.
Here we are, bottom of the 6th inning. It's a 7-inning game. We're looking for heroes now. You're looking for the first possible hero of the inaugural season of the Super League as we're in the grand final.
Currently evens it up at a 1-1 count. Really looking back at the last game that involved any sort of team scoring no runs was the Wasps versus the Carp back in round 5, which all the way back was the 7th of November. It was the Carp 7, Wasps 0. Usually runs are the order of the day, not so much here in this grand final. 1-2, Van der Linden, strong play by Cresswell, off balance. Not in time, but an impressive play to even make it close, to put it even in the conversation.
Oh, we got a leadoff single there. But in Van der Linden, it's a hustle single. You see in the Black Chrome replay here, the great job by Jeremy Cresswell to get it as the ball's already behind him. Come, one hop over to first. Just can't beat the speed of Van der Linden. The Carp have a man on. We'll see if they decide to play a little small ball here in the bottom of the 6th inning. We do have pitching coach going out there, and I think we're going to have the end of the night for David Carroll. It's going to be a call of the bullpen.
You can just imagine the ropes that these guys are going to be working with tonight. It's going to be so very, very tight. We'll just have to see who will replace them. Blake Farr, Curtis Mead, Angus Rozier. Next hitters due up. Farr currently 0 for 2, Mead 0 for 2, Rozier 0 for 2. Both teams still searching for something on the scoreboard.
Wojtek called the bullpen here in the pitching change. It's going to be the young man from China, Su, coming in to pitch. We do have a pinch runner going in for Nate Van der Linden. Sonny's going to go in and run for him, take over at shortstop. Imagine Van der Linden's probably going to head on down to the bullpen now. One of the arms they haven't used yet tonight, the Carp. One of the rules of the Super League is a player can be taken out of the game to go down to the bullpen and warm up. He just has to be the next man out of the bullpen in a pitching change. And if he does come out, he cannot re-enter. He will be out of the game altogether.
There you get a look. Of course, we're close to the airport, so we get plenty of great shots of planes flying. And there's a look at the scoreboard as well. Carp with the 4 hits with Van der Linden reaching 3 for the Denmark Crushers. We are also an hour and a half through this game. Started at 7 p.m. local time. And Su coming in. Farr at the moment having a bit of a discussion with his coach before getting ready as he's getting warmed up as well.
It looks like Denmark Crushers are going to make one other defensive change. Looks like Ben Andrews is going to slide over to third base from first. Chris Sims is going to come in and take over at first base. As Anthony Herrera's coming out of the game, but it'll be for the same reason that Van der Linden did. He's headed down to the bullpen. He's the closer, and they're going to be looking for him to get ready in a hurry, because any more trouble, and he may be in this game right away.
Not far, going to be showing bunt, but the first pitch by Su, going to be high and outside. So small ball has definitely helped the Carp over the course of this Super League season. They'll be asked to do it at least one more time. And gets the bunt down, but it is going to roll foul as the newly inserted Ben Andrews at third base, just letting that one roll over.
It's one of the decisions the manager has to make, and he's going to be thinking ahead, and obviously has a little confidence in Angus Rozier, because you're going to use one of your better hitters. Blake Farr's hitting 375 here. To bunt the ball over for an MVP candidate, the league average hitter in Curtis Mead, I'm sure the Denmark Crushers coaching staff isn't going to let him swing. They just intentionally walk him. It's a good curveball in the outside corner there from Su. Get ahead 1-2.
Yeah, 1-2 count. Runner at first. Carp looking to try and get something over. Farr going to go reaching. Maintains the 2-strike approach.
Look, they tried to go a little further out with that curveball. They caught the outside corner. Fard wasn't quite sure he thought that one was a strike, so they tried to go back to it a little bit further outside. He was able to stay alive, foul it off.
Breaking pitch. Sims newly inserted into the game, and there's going to be no out at second. The ball just getting underneath the glove of Cresswell, couldn't hang on to it. And now 2 runners on for the Carp.
Well, you give it and take it away. It's a great play by the newly inserted Chris Sims. Defensively at first base there to spear a single into right field, able to knock it down. Just couldn't make the throw to second base. Going to get charged with an error there. Make it first and second, nobody out for the dangerous Curtis Mead. And they're going to talk about it here on the mound.
Yeah, an important decision here. If you walk Curtis Mead, you're walking the bases loaded, none out. I mean, it worked for the Carp. But ultimately, will it work for the Denmark Crushers? I'm not so sure.
Yeah, we'll see. It looks like it was a little bit of a delay. They are going to go to the bullpen and going to go to closer Anthony Herrera. He'll be tasked with getting the last 2 innings here. His first job is to get through this inning, as they got first and second and nobody out. See if they continue their small ball with the hottest hitter of the Super League, looking to move him over. I imagine they'll let Curtis Mead swing away.
Well, Herrera is definitely a pitcher you want on the mound right now if you're the Denmark Crushers. Again, having a discussion here with the veteran Landon Hernandez. There is not a whole lot of room for error right now. Of course, game goes 7 innings. We're in the bottom of the 6th. 2 runners on. We're talking about the potential of walking Curtis Mead. Who currently in this game is 0 for 2. Has flown out to right field and a ground out to shortstop.
Little numbers we have on Anthony Herrera. He's been in at the back end of games for the Crushers. He does have a couple saves, 7 innings. He does have 7 hits. You know, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 9 strikeouts, 1.29 ERA. He got knocked around a little bit 2 weeks ago. That's where he gave up a couple unearned runs. But he's a man that when Eric was talking to Scott Dadstone earlier, that he said was going to be at the end of the order for them, and they're going to look to him to get them out of trouble and close this down.
Well, easier said than done for both these teams in relation to either preventing runs or putting them on the board. Herrera just getting those last few warm-up pitches in. Curtis Mead making sure to pay close attention. And they've faced each other plenty of times over the course of the Super League season, but it all comes down to this. After the change play, ready to resume. Maybe not.
Perhaps to make sure he gets himself turned around on that and doesn't pause anywhere, or he could be balancing a balk on that.
Ground ball
first pitch
towards second to short to first, and there's the double play, 4-6-3. A very important double play for the Denmark Crushers as the lead runner moves over to third base.
Well, Curtis Mead went after the first pitch he saw, and Cakebread and Cresswell are not the middle infielders that you want to hit a ball to. That's going to almost be a guaranteed double play up the middle. And now Denmark Crushers do have a couple options. Go ahead run is at third base. There's 2 outs. Angus Rozier coming up, Wilson Lee. Whichever one they choose, they want to go after, they think they can get. Sorry, we'll see if they actually go after Angus Rozier here, as rookie Nick George is on deck, as he did go into right field for Wilson Lee when he came in to pitch. See if Rozier gets anything he can handle, or if it's kind of pitch around him a little bit to go after the young hitter on deck.
Now Rozier 2 ground outs to third base. Now working with an even count, 1-1. Sonny at third base. Nice pitch there by Herrera. Inside though, 2-1 count.
Like so far they've been staying inside on him. Fastball low inside to start. Then a swinging fastball just at the bottom of the zone, and there's this inside slider. See if he stays inside or goes back out.
And a hard hit ball by Rozier as it's going to continue, but just go foul. Close there.
I think it's Rozier close to giving us our first score of the ball game. We were looking for heroes. Nearly made himself that one.
Got the distance, just couldn't quite get the direction. So resume here, 2-2 count. Runner at third, 2 out. Pitch by Herrera inside. Says that it hit Rozier and he'll get on the first base. So a pretty important at-bat there, but now it'll be up to Nick George. Inserted for Wilson Lee to potentially be the hero for the Carp.
Yeah, Herrera came inside. They were trying to keep everything in on the hands of Rozier. That one just kind of hung a little bit more inside, got a piece of him. But for the Denmark Crushers, it doesn't hurt too much, since they did have the bases open. You have a younger player up here than Angus Rozier, but you do have a player with a little more speed. So something that's hit slowly, the infielder's going to have to get rid of it a little quicker.
It's 0-1 at the moment. With Rozier getting on base runners at the corners, first and third. Nice breaking pitch there by Herrera, 2 strikes. So 1 strike away from getting out of this one. Rozier off towards second, and they're just going to let him have it. So update runners second and third. One, 2. Pitch inside, called strike 3. And Herrera gets him out of that one. We're heading to the top of the 7th. Still no score here in this Super League Grand Final. So get another look on the Black Chrome replay. And there you go. Nick George going down. We're going to go to a break. You're watching Super League.
Black Chrome is the official partner of Super League Baseball Adelaide. Head to the Black Chrome website to view the new range of custom baseball apparel and see why so many teams are choosing to partner with Black Chrome.
Adelaide University now snapping off the
Here's your championship. Joyce will go. Joyce will score.
Flag from Lana Kaiser. He's going to go all the way. Go score. Thinks the goal.
She got 2 little horns and they give me a little bit.
Welcome back to the ballpark. Top of the 7th inning here between the Carp and the Denmark Crushers, and still no score. Wilson Lee will be the one tasked with trying to get through this inning. And for the Denmark Crushers, they're going to try and get something on the board, but both these teams, plenty of base runners, just can't get them home.
I alluded at the beginning of the game to pitching was going to be deciding factor today of whichever pitching staff was going to blink first. So far tonight, it's been nobody. We've seen bases loaded, nobody out. Bases loaded, one out, once for each team. They're going to be kicking themselves for not being able to score, the team that ends up losing this. But here we are, 7th inning. Nick Talbot, Matt Hutchings, and Jeremy Questwell are going to lead it off. Wilson Lee in his 2nd inning of work.
First pitch to Talbot. Going to be in for a strike, 0-1.
Taking all the way there. Wanted to make sure Wilson Lee was throwing strikes this inning. There's that curveball that it looked like he was having trouble finding last inning when he got into a little bit of trouble. Had the bases loaded before a couple big strikeouts. There he had a good curveball after a fastball. Talbot's behind 0-2.
Well, make it 0-3. Talbot goes down swinging. 2nd strikeout for Wilson Lee in his appearance. And we'll head to the bottom of the order, the very bottom, in Matt Hutchings.
Well, definitely what you want out of the Super League Grand Final. We got 0-0 game. Here we looking for the go-ahead or winning run.
Well, Hutchings 0 for 2 with a strikeout. He hits a ball towards right center, rolling towards the fence. He's going to be taking the extra base. Inglis will end up picking this one up. And Matt Hutchings with a 1-out double here for the Denmark Crushers in the top of the 7th.
Hutchings has been the spark plug for the Denmark Crushers most of the year. Out of the 9 hole, which almost is the 2nd leadoff, he's going to turn it over to the top of the order here. Jeremy Cresswell talked about him being the veteran on the team. Didn't have a great regular season, but in the playoff game last week, he had a couple big hits. He's got an opportunity for another big hit here.
Yeah, well, what can Cresswell do? 0 for 2 with a walk. Some options available. I mean, the Carp have done this a few times, getting out of a situation like this tonight. Both teams have been able to do it. Eventually, a run has to score.
And if you're wondering about the arms in the outfield, Nick George and Pat Inglis have very strong arms from right field and center field. Ben Keeping probably the weakest out of the 3 of them. There's a foul back, but we have seen him throw a runner out at the plate earlier in the Super League here. So accuracy maybe a little more his forte than strength in the arm, but all 3 very capable of throwing Hutchings out. So we could have a play at the plate if they decide to send him.
Well, currently 0-2 count. Is Cresswell going to foul that one off? Every pitch magnified here in the potential final inning. There's no ties here tonight. If we do go past 7, then it goes to international speed-up rules. Which is runners at 1st and 2nd with none out.
Wilson Lee keeping an eye on Matt Hutchings. We have seen him steal 3rd base twice in the Super League in past games as well.
0-2 and Lee going to try and go inside. Cresswell doing a good job just making sure he's out of the way of that one.
0-2 pitch, just changing the eye level, move some feet of the batter. Now filter back on that outside corner.
And Cresswell with a shot that's going to drop in front of George. Runner is going to be held up, but Cresswell going to go for 2nd. Now he's caught in a rundown. Just got to keep an eye on 3rd. Can Cresswell keep him distracted? He'll get tagged out. Runner is going to hold up at 3rd. And a crucial out there for the Carp. As Cresswell trying to be aggressive and he gets caught out.
Yeah, we see in the replay here the Carp execute the rundown perfectly. Each runner keeping each position player, the second baseman Mead, first baseman Rozier, And keeping an eye on Hutchings at third, didn't let him get too far off. Got the out without giving up the run. Now we got 2 outs. Chris Sims just came in last inning. Opportunity to possibly be that hero.
Well, first pitch over for a strike. It's 0-1 count, runner at third, now 2 out. Just field potential runners in the corners with 1 out for the Denmark Crushers. In double play still would have ended it, but just getting caught out. Changes the complexion of this inning. Sims hits one towards center. Inglis ranging on it, and it's gonna drop. Hutchings will score, and the Denmark Crushers going to run across here in the top of the 7th inning.
Chris Sims just gets enough of that baseball for a little dying quail into right center field that drops in front of Patty Inglis and Nick George. Give the Denmark Crushers a 1-0 lead here in the top of the 7th inning. In the grand final, one inning left. This is where pitcher Wilson Lee going to be a little disappointed on that. Made a good pitch, but can't lose his focus. You got dangerous hitters of Hernandez and Andrews coming up. You can't afford to be down more than 1.
Yeah, well, considering all the hits we've seen tonight, that's the one that drives in the run. So Hernandez currently working with a 2-1 count. Hit into center field. This one is going to be playable by Inglis as he'll take that one for the 3rd out. But the Denmark Crushers have finally broken the deadlock thanks to Chris Sims. A 1-run lead heading into the bottom of the 7th inning.
The Crushers are going to keep Anthony Herrera, their closer, out there for another inning. He's going to have to face the 6, 7, 8. Mason Clavel, Patty Inglis, Jay Sanderson. We've been keeping lurking in that 9th spot as the 4th batter. They're going to have their last shot here. It's going to be all hands on deck for the bench of the Carp. We have seen Coach Paul Green go to his bench earlier in the season, completely turned around an inning in a game, which they came back to win. Maybe he has something up his sleeve this one too. They got 3 outs to play with.
So Clavel, Inglis, Sanderson. And that is the lineup that Anthony Herrera will have to deal with. Clavel currently 1 for 2, Inglis 1 for 2, Sanderson 0 for 1. Carp trying to keep this game alive, send it to extras, or potentially walk it off. Herrera coming into this game with an ERA in the 1s. Definitely going to be an uphill challenge for the Carp.
Uphill challenge, but one run is one that you know you can come back from. You figure you got to score 1 run in a game to win anyway. Now they have to score it to stay alive. Here we go, bottom of the 7th inning. Closer Anthony Herrera in the spot that manager Scott Gladstone wanted him. Closing down a game. They're up 1-0. The Carp trying to score 1 to at least extend this to extra innings.
Herrera, first pitch right down the pipe, and it will go foul. As we mentioned for Clavel, 1 for 2, had a 3-1 ground out, single to left.
That inside slider that Herrera threw a little backdoor to a couple hitters last inning. Just missed the inside corner there. Comes back with it again. That one's popped up on the infield. Andrew's going to camp under that one. Tucks it away. First out of the inning.
Well, 2 outs away. Now Pat Inglis, 1 for 2, strikeout and a single to left. And there is your scoreboard. 1 run, 6 hits for the Denmark Crushers, no runs, 4 hits, 2 errors for the Carp. Herrera showing some good velocity. It's 1-1 count. There's the good breaking pitch. You can see Inglis couldn't do a whole lot with it. Let it go past for a strike. And Inglis not going to go down without a fight. Fouls it off, maintains a 1-2 count.
Herrera continues to pound that inside of the zone. Doesn't want to let the guys extend the bat head out there. Carp are going to be looking for something in the gap to get themselves a lead runner here with 1 out already.
Close pitch on the outside. Inglis lays off 2-2.
A good decision to take that fastball just off the block on the outside corner.
And tries to go back inside with the breaking pitch. So he's varying up his locations, varying up the speeds. Inglis doing a good job here just to stay alive, trying to find his pitch. He's fouled off the last couple of pitches. Important here, keep himself alive.
Just enough on that last one. He's looking for that sitting on that inside slider that he's been throwing. There's that fastball outside corner. That time he's going to get it. Get him looking for the 2nd out of the inning. And the Carp season is going to go down to a pinch hitter. Looks like they're going to go to Fung Fung to try to get them started.
Well, what a situation. And first pitch in for a strike. Make it strike 2. Herrera 1 strike away. Another pitch inside. First ball of the at-bat.
Denmark Crushers perched on the stop step, looking for that final strike.
And looking for that final strike. Fong not going down without a fight. Two count. 2 out. Base is empty. Crushers up by 1. Fly ball towards center field. Hutchings underneath it. And with that, in its inaugural 2018 season, the Denmark Crushers are Super League champions.
We see the Crushers slowly pouring out of their dugout, coming to congratulate their teammates out on the field. Hard-fought 1-0 victory. Had a couple opportunities to score some runs tonight. Couldn't quite do it. Got themselves a 2-out single from Chris Sims coming off the bench in the last inning defensively. Did the job. Dropped one in front of the center fielder to score Matt Hutchings from third base. Here we see Herrera pop it up. Hutchings camps under it. And your champions, the Dunmark Crushers.
All she wrote, final score 1-0. And as you mentioned, Rob, took all the way to the bottom of the, top of the 7th to get that run across the board. And just an amazing pitching performance by both these teams. You had Thompson, Duncan, Lapiana and Lee for the Carp. For the Crushers, Gross, Chapman, Carroll, Sue and Herrera closing the door. Exactly what you want out of both your pitchers or your pitching teams. And in this case, the Carp, just the hard luck losers.
Yeah, we have to congratulate both teams on their seasons this year. It was kind of the tale of two different systems. The Dunmark Crushers came out firing in the first few weeks, ran into a little roadblock, lost a few games, had to battle for their lives the last week of the series. Got a big win, got themselves into the playoffs. The Carp started off poorly. Were slow out of the gate, didn't really have kind of much going, then caught fire, ran off a bunch of wins, had all the momentum, earned themselves the division league, got a bye to the grand final as the first team to win the league. But playoffs are a different story. Tonight, the veteran leaders of the Dunmark Crushers kind of withheld it, and they're the champions of the Super League in its inaugural season.
Well, the beginning of something special, we hope, the Super League. But we now have the inaugural champions, the Dunmark Crushers, as they will be the team to beat. Rob, before we end the broadcast, final thoughts, not just on this game, but on the season.
From hearing about it, in its sort of from its little baby steps all the way through, talking to Tank a little earlier tonight about it, we saw the Super League grow. It was what's good for baseball. You hear around the country, in some of the other cities, Brisbane, Sydney, that they're looking at possibly doing something like that themselves in their own city. So congratulations to Baseball SA for starting a great and hopefully yearly tradition. It does bring a little fun to the players, to the coaches, to all the teams. We saw lots of fans here tonight for a grand final. We know we'll see more. We got to thank all our sponsors this year: Black Chrome, SA Power Network, Voitech. Of course, Dunmark, your team's the first one to get a sponsorship. Your team won this year, the Dunmark Crushers. Sweet Amber, Pale Ale, definitely we're all big parts of the Super League its inaugural season. We hope to see them all next year as well and continue to grow with it.
And of course, huge thanks to Spacequake Sports for putting on these broadcasts each and every week. Rob, it's also been an absolute pleasure having you in the broadcast booth each and every week. And this is the start of something special, I feel, with Super League, and it's only going to go onwards and upwards. But with that is the end of the Super League season. On behalf of Rob, myself, and the Spacequake Sports crew, it has been a fantastic season. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next year. So ball coming back out. Adelaide University now snap kick off the right. Starting to build a little bit of confidence going to the second half. Get around here. Bang. Well, fired it across. Brooke Carpenter will get the goal. Herrera going to come, makes the play, double clutch. Beautiful throw.
Now a comeback for Ryder Herrera.
Fired it off the post and a rebound is put back in.
Indeed, second and goal. Hogs knocking on the door. Here's a completed pass. Look for the end zone, and there is your championship.
To the left, they swing again. It will come to Joyce. Joyce will score! Joyce will score! Paul Emily, fucked up. Maiden comes across, but still free. Oh my lord! Smoking Joe inside.
Great play from Lana Kaiser.
This is
The final one, and there it is. She's not just perfect, she's truly perfect.